Alright guys, this market is about to drop. I'm saying that while it's actually rocketing higher. It's up 24 points in the pre-market, or after hours I should say. And how do I know this market's about to drop? How do I know it's about to reverse? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to explain to you in this video. We've got 5 reasons for why this market is about to drop. So stick through so I can explain it to you guys. This is where fortunes are made. If you understand what I'm about to show you in this video, if you could stick through and just give me a chance here, because I know a lot of you guys are perma bulls. You don't want to listen to anything on the bear side. I just want to say I am not trying to attack you. I promise. I want everything to work out for you, but the point is if the market's going to fucking drop, I'm going to make money on the drop. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to be a sheep, and I'm not going to be blind to the fact that I could be making money if it drops. So once again, if you're someone who's just a permanent bull, you completely refuse to see any case to the downside, this video is not for you. But if you're ready to make some money on this drop, I'll explain to you exactly why it's going to happen. So let's go ahead and get into the first reason this market is going to drop. It's because of the volatility signal, or at least that's our first reason. What is the volatility signal we're getting? Well, from December to now, volatility's been uptrending. And what has the market been doing since December? It's been uptrending. So it's a clear divergence. If you're new to the market, this is really simple stuff. Basically, volatility is an inverse correlation to the S&P 500. So if the S&P 500 goes up, volatility should go down. If volatility goes up, the market should go down. And so this is where the real signal comes into play. Volatility of volatility is at the bottom of its uptrend. So every single time volatility of volatility gets down to this uptrend line, this uptrend level, what happens to volatility? It breaks out higher. So if volatility breaks out higher, what happens to the market? It drops. That's your reason number one. It's a beautiful signal. Nobody on YouTube is going to talk to you about that, show you that, because they're too busy focusing on the small picture, like trading these 1 minute fucking candles, making 10%, scalping these little bullshit plays. Okay, here we come to play. We come to cash out on some big plays. We make 1000% returns here all the time, and that's how we do it. We focus on the bigger picture, because your biggest trades come from 3-day swings, 2-day swings, 4-day swings, if you can catch them. And the market doesn't always give you those opportunities, but when it does, you got to be able to capitalize on it. So here's just a point of advice going into this week when this market drops. Okay, you cannot be freaking out if the market bounces 5 points on you, okay, because this market is going to drop over 140 points here by the end of the week. We're going to see 3,700, and we're probably going to go even lower than that. Now, hopefully I'm not being too bold, because I will definitely be eating my words if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly confident in my process and my understanding of this, so that's why I can say this confidently. And if it's the 10% of cases I'm wrong, fuck it. It is what it is, but I'm going to give my opinion here because I believe I'm right. And that's why we're getting into our second reason, market exhaustion. So today, the market tries to push higher and just completely erases and gives back all its gains for the day. It's a horrible sign. That being said, we're still up hugely in the last 2 days, from a bottom of 37.30 to a top of 38.80 almost. Basically, we've rocketed higher over 150 points here in just the last 2 days. So all of a sudden, everyone thinks it's bullish. Everyone thinks you should buy the dip. And that's exactly when you get fucked over, is when you join the crowd. That's exactly when they catch you off guard. That's exactly when the market is going to reverse. They're trying to pump you up with these beliefs that stimulus is going to get passed. It's Kathy Wood saying buy the dip. I mean, they're giving you all these reasons. They're getting your hopes up, and then the market's going to dump off, and so many people are going to lose money when this happens here tomorrow or the next day. Third reason, further downtrend confirmed. Now look, this wasn't as clear before, but now it's definitely clear. You have a clear downtrend here in the S&P 500 that's developing here over the last 90 days. Boom, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Where are we? At the top of the trend with max downside. With the volatility signal we're getting, it leads for a very high probability trade and drop in reversal to the downside. Fourth reason this market can dump off so much harder than you expect it to is the fact that value stocks have not even began to correct. Now, look, they're making this narrative, they're blowing up the story right now that they're rotating from growth into value. So they're saying, oh, this is really healthy for the market, this is really good, we're just rotating from growth to value. So here's an example, and here's what I can disprove about that. Tesla down 6% today. RCL, which is a value stock, only up 1.5% today. Okay, if this was a true rotation from growth into value, you'd see RCL up 6% like Tesla, not fucking up 1%, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Basically, they're saying, look at this, we're rotating from growth into value. Okay, you might be rotating from growth into value a little bit, but not nearly as much as you're rotating the fuck out of growth. You see what I mean? So they're taking out 6% of Tesla, and RCL is only going up 1%. You see what I'm saying? So what that tells you is the bullish sentiment, the confidence in the bullish move higher is not even close to being as strong as they're portraying it to be on the news right now. Does that make sense? So basically they're saying, oh, growth to value, but really if you look at the facts, it's like 6% down on Tesla, only 1% up on RCL. Does that make sense? Hopefully that clicks. If it doesn't, don't worry, that's why we got 5 reasons here. Fifth reason, tier 1 and 2 companies have broken down. Now, what's your tier 1 companies? It's going to be Amazon, okay, Apple. It's going to be Microsoft. What do we mean by these guys have broken down? Well, they're all in very strong uptrends, and, well, they've broken down out of their uptrend, right? So it's a horrible sign for the market. And so then, who's our tier 2 companies that are breaking down? These are the really strong, solid companies that are just not nearly as large of a market cap as Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla. So a great example of this would be Okta. Look at this extremely strong uptrend we've had here in Okta. We have never broken below that uptrend this year, and, well, it finally happened. So that's a great example of a very strong, fast-growing, just good company that is breaking down, and that's just not a good sign. Okay, another great example of that would be C Limited. Look at this beautiful uptrend here. This is what I call a tier 2 company because it's 70 billion market cap. So whereas Apple, Microsoft, Amazon are 1.5 trillion, this is 70 billion. So it's still a large cap, but it's still a tier under Amazon, Microsoft, Apple. Look at this beautiful uptrend. We never broke through that uptrend. Well, now that uptrend is getting completely hammered. It's done for. And so that's another great sign. So when you have tier 1, which is your top rated companies, right? The biggest market leaders, they've broken down. You've got your tier 2, which is like the second tier under them, right? Very strong, heavily bought institutional, favored companies are breaking down as well. That's your top 2 tiers of stocks that have got royally fucked here in the last month and have, broken out of their uptrend. Horrible sign. So when you combine all 5 of these things, you have a very dangerous setup to the downside in the S&P 500, okay? And once again, I want to point out the volatility signal, okay? Because you could say, okay, the market's going to drop in a week or 2, but how do we know the market's going to drop very, very soon? Is because of the position of volatility. When volatility is down here at the bottom, it spikes out, okay? Here's the only time where volatility didn't spike out on this uptrend, right? Here's the uptrend. You can see it kind of hovered around, so that's the worst case scenario. We might not drop instantly. It might not be a raging move to the downside tomorrow or the next day. That's like the worst case is this can hold off for another week before we make another big leg lower, okay? But overall, most of the time when we reach the bottom of volatility trend, it spikes higher. And it makes most sense right now because market's at the top of its uptrend or downtrend, which leads to the perfect kind of entry, the perfect rotational period for the market to drop lower, okay? So an important thing to point out though right now is that Nasdaq is at its bottom currently and it's getting support, which is highly bullish for the overall market. That's why you see it being up 30 points here in the after hours. But that being said, this drop can come as early as tomorrow and it can come at the latest in 1 week from now, right? We've went over the volatility signal and how it usually breaks out higher at the bottom, but a great example of a time where it was on the uptrend at the bottom, you can see here it kind of hovered around until boom, finally it broke out higher, right? So that can happen. That's the worst case. So you got to be prepared for this thing to possibly extend into next week, right? Is when it could come at the latest, I believe. But anyways, I'm going to be ready. If you want to trade this live with me, you can join our coaching program where I tell you exactly when to enter and exit these trades. Guys, this is where fortunes are made. So you got to make sure you're subscribed so I can keep you up to date on our market analysis and have the notification bell on, guys. I'd hate for you to be that one guy in the comment section who says, I wish I saw this earlier. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the video off there. I got to work on some trades for our members here. We've got a big week ahead, I believe. And last thing I want to point out in this video is if you've made it to the end here, just want to say good job because 90% of people can't even do that, okay? Which shows you're serious and you have what it takes to do this. So, just stay on track, keep it up. Can't wait to hear about your success, and I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.